Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Resales. My name's Ryan. I wear funny hats and buy stuff on at thrift stores, garage sales, yard sales, flea markets sometimes, and put them on eBay. And actually, this weekend, tomorrow, I am planning on actually doing some flea market sales, and I may actually review a couple of things there that I'm going to try and do and see if it pans out. But other than that, sold a few things. Hopefully fixed a problem. We'll see how it shakes out. And what else we're going to do? Didn't find anything at Goodwill at the thrift store yesterday, but that's okay. Maybe means I don't have as much stuff I got to deal with. So anyway, let's jump into it. Sales, good sales, decent sales. Boom. This is not vintage. This is a I hate to use the word reproduction, but this is a modern repro of a vintage of an older figure that sold this guy for $10. So yeah, repro sell. These are neat figs. He's been sitting back there for a little bit, so nice to have him on display and nice to see him gone. So Leonardo, this is one of the original. This is a repro of the original Ninja Turtle figures from 88, 89. Really good shape, really neat little figure. I had all these guys, the original run. I had all the original run and a few of the other ones, but I didn't have any of the crazy later ones, particularly the really expensive ones. I didn't have any of those, but I had a bunch of the other ones. So Leonardo, $10. I've got Donatello back there too, and I got him up for about 10. So 8 to 10. I don't even remember where I bought him, but I know I didn't spend a whole lot for him, so I know I'm making money on him. So that type of thing, $1 a piece or so. Knowing what it sold for, maybe I'll go $2 a piece. But that's about the extent of that. Next one, got this one, a nice big. This is, I believe, it's Frieza. And I sold him. This is a Dragon Ball Z figure. These actually got produced not too long ago. There was still some of these on the shelf. $15. Got in a big bin of a lot of other action figures. Had several other Dragon Ball figures in it. And a few other things I'm still trying to sell. And so $15 for this one. I think I spent $35 on a box of figures and a big box of Hot Wheels. I know I've made my money back, and I think I'm pretty well into profit. But it's not like, I don't think it was like a 30 into 200 type situation. It was more. I think it's going to be more of a 30 into 100 over time. I'm actually bringing a big batch of them, probably out to the flea market this weekend, and try to get $1 to $3 a figure on some of them. So we'll see how that goes. Finally, this is one I got. I think Monday. Guardian Angels. This is a zebra horror, in sort of an embossed cover. Zebra was like a 1980s, 1990s horror novel. Right? The collectors love these. There's a certain number of folks who know horror are after these books. I've sold a couple or three. If I see a zebra with like a horror type thing on it, I'm getting them. Because I've sold several for decent prices. There are some that go way high. If you find one and put it on eBay, you're going to be one of about 5 on eBay. That's how rare these things are. So I think I undercut whoever had them up, and I still sold this for $20. So and it was up for a few days. So that's when you know you hit the price right. Is when you put something up And not that it goes like that, because if it goes like that, you probably underpriced it. But that it takes a few days, and you've got. I had it for 25, and that wound up with a best offer. But when it takes a few days to sell, and you got a couple of watchers here and there, but nobody's quite pulling the trigger, that's when you know you hit the right price on it. It takes a week or two, and then somebody decides to pull the trigger. That's when, if it goes like that, you know you underpriced. More than likely, unless you have a really popular item and the pricing on it is obvious. That one, it wasn't quite. I knew between 20 and 30 bucks. And so that's where that one hit. So that's that. Next week, I'm going to put a few of these up, and if I find a few more, I'm actually probably going to start these on a Facebook group first. But these, and I think I've got a few more. That's why I'm giving it a hold off. Sort of old 80s, 90s storybook, like cartoon storybooks, like Muppets and X-Men and Defenders of the Earth. I got a Teddy Ruxpin here. These are all like $2 to $3 items. And I'm actually in a couple of Facebook niche groups of like 1980s and 90s collectors who those would be attractive to. I got this. This is an old Mass comic, Super Pro. So it's one of those, it's more nostalgia type items. These aren't massively, heavily valuable. And I think I've got some more kind of that would in that genre. I get a bunch of comic books, but comic books, I'm a type, I'll buy a box of comics if they're 50 cents a piece. Flip a few, keep a few, and then try to bring them out to the yard sale. I got like a box full I'm going to bring out probably for about 50 cents a piece. Try to get rid of them. And I got a few other things like that. So, flea market sales. Here's kind of what I've figured out works for me at flea markets. Since the one I go to, about 3/4 of the people there are very regular, and I think they kind of do what I do, is they do a lot of reselling on the side, bring the big stuff out to the flea market. Some of them just do the flea market. Some of them pick up, they get barns and all that sort of stuff and don't bother online. And just bring it out to the flea market and know their stuff pretty well to where they can price it pretty decently. Some of them are antique dealers. Some of them, I know a couple guys I know that they're always looking for flipping stuff. Actually, most of it. So if you're a new guy that goes out to that flea market, it's like vultures. I hate to say the positive sense, but they will collapse on you, and really, really pick at it. So that's what happens. So I go about once a quarter, get rid of stuff, see if I can find something, spend time with my kids, help them learn how to buy and sell and all that sort of thing. I've got one who's particularly good at selling Hot Wheels to other kids and parents and stuff. Like, he loves it, and I've sold. But what I do there is I've got 1, 2, 3, 6, 8, 10 of like these, like they're bigger than shoebox bins. I don't have one really quite handy to grab, of Hot Wheels. Like, I'm semi-sorted, and I'll bring them out there, put them kind of on the floor in front of my tables, sell them for 50 cents a piece. But I've already made my money on them, or most of my money on, because I'll buy, if I go to a yard sale or go to Goodwill or something like that, and there's a big batch for less than $0.25 a car, I get them. If you buy a random bag of, I would say 50 to 100 Hot Wheels at less than $0.25 a piece, there's going to be 3 to 10 in there that are worth flipping online on eBay. It takes a little bit to look them up, but once you know what you're looking for, after the first few times, you can go through it and pick out the ones that are more than likely to sell. Usually more realistic looking cars, muscle cars, Japanese cars, that sort of thing. You can pick out the good ones, flip those for real decent profit online because they don't ship for much. So you can sell cars for 8, 10, 12, 15 bucks and make decent money. And then I take the rest out to the flea market, 50 cents. There's my booth rent for the weekend, sometimes more. I've sold $100 worth of cars going 50 cents a piece before. So that's a lot of cars. So it's worth doing there. The other thing I do a lot. I'm one of the few guys out there that consistently does toys, particularly like older toys. So I've got a batch here of toys and stuff that some of these I'm gonna bring in. Some of these I need to look online. So I gotta go through like this bad boy right here. This is actually an old Buck Rogers spaceship, but it's incomplete. It's a shell. Super cool design. Actually, I think the cockpit on it actually makes it look dumber. I think this is like if it had a more sleek looking cockpit, it would have been a cooler ship. But this isn't a high demand 1980s. Buck Rogers stuff just isn't. The figures go for a little bit, and the complete ships might. But the shell, yeah. But there may be an 80s collector out there, and I'll know them. I'll eyeball them. They'll be wearing a Transformers T-shirt, or they're sniffing around. You can ask them, and you see what they're looking at on the table. And I'll put that out there, and this will be $3, and that's fine. I've had it for a while. Actually played with it with my kids a little bit, so we'll stick it out on the table. And if I get $3 for it, I'll be happy. So the range for those figures is going to be Green Lantern, but he's going on my desk. The range for those types of figures, for the type of stuff that goes out there, I find it's low dollar stuff, sub $5 things. The stuff that it's worth its weight. It's worth it's literally worth its weight. It's worth what it costs to ship it, or less. So it's that type of stuff out there. Those $1 to $3 to $5 items, or it's the bigger items. The I do $15 to $30, like on some old tools and all that sort of stuff. $10 to $5 to $10 for a power drill. I worth. There's no way I could get that little Ford from eBay and you lose money at that price. But a place like a flea market, if you pick, I got a big bin full of farm tools one time. Most of them are $5 to $10 to $15 items. I sold the $160 to $80 item online. Everything else, $5 to $10, maybe. So that's what, to me, a flea market is for. It's for the big stuff. It's for the really inexpensive stuff, and it's for finding stuff. Usually I'll go through and I'll find a bag full of stuff at the flea market, particularly if I can get there early, and comb through some stuff. And there's some stuff I know that I'm pretty certain I know better than most other folks out there. Very, very specific niche items. Also one of the few guys out there with books, but a flea market crowd is not exactly the most literate, except Southerners love their history. If I can get a book full of Southern history and Georgia history and bring it out there, I can sell those books for $2 to $3 a piece. Where, most other books, people turn their nose up at even 50 cents a piece. And there's some folks that look through them. I'm going to bring some antique books out there that aren't, that I couldn't sell, maybe not be worthwhile to sell online. If I had antiques booth, these would be great $5 to $10 books that are really good for decorating, but not necessarily, folks. It's kind of hard to move them online sometimes. The old books I can't sell, I'll bring out there. And that's my 2 boxes. It is a lot of historical stuff, car stuff, and old books. So we'll see how that goes. I may bring this box of manga and see if I can't get like my comic book, $1 or piece or so on some of the manga I've got. Anything else? That's pretty much it that I'm going to be bringing out there. So I got a few boxes of stuff that do well. The other thing people love is like just boxes of trinkets that they can just kind of root through. That's just kind of neat little stuff. People love rooting through. People love rooting through piles of just stuff, just to see if there's anything neat that they want. So, yeah, I've got one. I got a couple boxes like that. It's $1, $2 stuff. You know, it's 50 cents $1 stuff, but people like rooting through it and see if they can find something. So, that's mostly what I've got to go out there, and I think that's it for today. So, good luck. I'll give a report on my flea market adventure. I'm shooting between. My goal is about $200 cash in my pocket after I pay my booth rent. Usually I hit that or get close to it. A great day for me out there is 300. I've done it before, but I've had $50 to $100 items to bring out there to do it. But with my bread and butter, hitting 200 is about is probably a good day. So we'll see how it goes, because I got some decent $10, $20 items that may do it. So anyway, have a good day and happy hunting. Oh, like, comment, subscribe, please.